There's a silent battle going on inside all of us right now. And it's not against some virus or bacteria, nope. It's a battle against the fundamental laws of physics. Today, we're going to look at the incredible invisible forces that can make a life-saving medical device fail and the amazing engineering that's fighting back.
So, what are we looking at here? This is a 3D scan of the aorta. It's the biggest blood vessel in your body, kind of like the main highway for blood. But this one has a huge flaw. See how it's twisted and ballooning out? That's a life-threatening aneurysm. It's basically a structural failure just waiting to happen.
And that presents a massive challenge, right? I mean, how on earth do you repair the body's main artery when it's about to fail? But here's the real kicker. You have to fix it from the inside without major open-heart surgery.
Okay, so the official medical term for this is an abdominal aortic aneurysm, or just AAA for short. The easiest way to wrap your head around it is to think of a weak spot on a tire or a high-pressure garden hose. The constant pressure inside just causes that weak wall to bulge out, and if it bursts, well, the results can be catastrophic.
But the modern solution is honestly an engineering marvel. It's called an endograft. It's basically a fabric-covered metal scaffold that surgeons can snake up through your arteries. Once it's in the right spot, it expands, creating this brand new, reinforced tunnel for the blood to flow through. And just like that, all the pressure is taken off that weak, bulging wall. The threat is essentially diffused.
So problem solved, right? A perfect fix? Well, not always. Because as soon as that endograft is in place, a whole new battle begins. It's a fight against the invisible, relentless forces of your own blood flow, which can totally undermine the repair over time.
And this gets us to the absolute heart of the problem, what you might call the Achilles heel of this whole procedure. The simple pulse of your blood, your heartbeat, creates these incredibly powerful displacement forces. Think of it like a constant river current, pushing and pushing against a bridge support. It never stops, and it's always trying to nudge this life-saving device right out of place.
And look, failure here doesn't just happen all at once. It's more like a slow-motion chain reaction. First, all that physical stress moves from the wall of the aneurysm to the anchor points of the device. Then, over time, the artery itself can actually stretch out. All the while, that constant drag from the blood flow is slowly, gradually pulling the endograft downstream, which can eventually lead to a devastating leak.
This brings us to the main event, the #1 battleground. It's called the sealing zone, right at the top of the device, in an area known as the infrarenal neck. Honestly, the success or failure of the whole thing often comes down to what happens in this one tiny spot.
And here's where biology makes the engineering so darn complicated. Because here's the thing, no two aortas are identical. The unique geometry of your artery, especially any sharp bends or angles, is a huge factor in whether this device will actually hold. It means every single procedure is basically a custom engineering problem.
To get that super tight seal, surgeons use a technique called oversizing, where they put in a stent that's just a little bit bigger than the artery. But, and this is a huge but, it's a massive trade-off. Going big, say 30% oversized, might be perfect for a really curvy artery, but in a straighter one, that same stent can actually wrinkle up and create a leak. Go smaller, maybe 10% oversized, and it works great in a straight artery, but won't seal properly in an angled one. It is a crazy high-stakes balancing act.
Now, this challenge has led to two completely different engineering philosophies. On the left, you've got what's called suprarenal fixation. This approach uses tiny little hooks or barbs to anchor the device above the arteries that go to your kidneys, where the tissue is a bit stronger. On the right, you have infrarenal fixation, which anchors the device just below those same arteries. It's two different answers to the exact same physics problem.
But the top of the device isn't the only potential trouble spot. Oh no. The fight against these displacement forces keeps going all the way down at the legs of the endograft, where they anchor into the iliac arteries that branch off towards your legs.
And the physics down here are just as unforgiving. Get this number, it's just staggering. If the angle of that iliac artery goes from a gentle 45 degrees to a sharp 90-degree turn, the force trying to yank the device loose can actually double. A tiny, tiny difference in anatomy has this massive physical consequence.
So all of this intense physical pressure has kicked off this incredible engineering arms race. You've got companies designing smarter and way more sophisticated endografts just to try and win this internal battle against physics.
And this is what's in their toolkit today. You see devices with microscopic hooks and barbs for a better grip. You see flexible endoskeletons that can literally conform to the shape of an artery. And you even see these really cool innovations, like inflatable, polymer-filled rings that create a perfect, custom seal right on the spot.
And here is one of the cleverest solutions in action. Instead of just using brute force to push outwards, this design uses these polymer-filled rings. You can see their outline there in the dashed lines. They actually inflate inside the artery and create a perfect, custom-molded seal. This is an absolute game changer, especially for arteries that have weird or irregular shapes, where a standard stent would just leave dangerous gaps.
So where does this all go from here? What's the next frontier in this battle? Well, believe it or not, the front line is shifting away from the operating room and onto the supercomputer. The future of this whole procedure is, it turns out, computational.
The key technology here is called computational fluid dynamics, or CFD, and this changes absolutely everything. Think about it. Instead of finding a problem months or years after surgery, doctors can now run a simulation of a patient's unique blood flow and predict exactly what forces will be acting on a device before it's even implanted. We're talking about a huge leap from reactive repair to truly predictive medicine.
And these simulations have already uncovered some really surprising stuff. For the longest time, the assumption was that the main force just pushed the device straight down. Makes sense, right? Well, it turns out that's wrong. Simulations like this one showed that the dominant force is often pushing sideways. And knowing that, well, it completely changes how you have to engineer a device to fight back effectively.
I mean, just look at this. This visualization perfectly captures the power of CFD. These models show how just tweaking the angle of a small branch artery can completely change the blood flow velocity and stress. All of these invisible forces are finally being made visible. They can be mapped out and understood before a surgeon ever even picks up a scalpel.
And that brings us to this really fundamental question about what it even means to be a surgeon in the future. As medicine gets more and more predictive, is the biggest challenge going to be the physical skill of the operation, or is it going to be mastering all the complex math and computation that has to happen first? It really feels like the future of surgery is this amazing intersection of medicine, engineering, and pure data.